gowns, goggles, whatever the blanket you are going to receive the baby on, that also should be warmed up. Right? So pre-warm the heaters, pre-heat the warmer, so bed of the baby, and the blankets are going to receive the baby. All these things should be pre-warm. You are also going to check whether suppose the baby requires, baby has born without breathing. What you want to do immediately? You need to go to first ventilation. What you want to do? Back. Self-inflating back. So the back is not working. What will you do? Mouth breathing. Again back to sensory back. Is it? Is the wall working well? Papa wall is there or not? Right? Is the reservoir functioning well or not? Who will check all this? Check the ventricle fluid. Papa say whether present or not. Right? Check the laryngoscope plate, whether that light is working well or not. Many times it is dimming. Is it? So always should have batteries with you in your packet. Don't fill them afresh. You will get a good landing time. These are all the things we need to know. That's why don't expect an application whose mind is filled with worry of mother. Let us not give burden to her, also to take care of our issues. You got my point. This is how to remember the equipment check. So these three things are very important. Discussing with application, discussing with the team members, equipment check are important. You got my point? Yes. You have said to them, you are ready. Now, you are ready for everything. Your equipment is ready. Electrical tube is ready. Drugs are ready. What two important drugs you want to maintain in the obstetric spray? What are the drugs that each time I lost this spray? I lost 5% spray. Which drug is not there in your train list for registration? Number one. Epinephrine. Number two. Normal saline or liquor lactate. Number three. Sodium bicarbonate. Number four. Calcium gluconate. Number five. Atropine. Out of these 5 drugs, which is not there in your trade table? Or which is always there in your trade table? No, be frank. This answer can be given better by applications. I give 4-5 drugs. All 5 drugs are always there in your trade for the sake of me. So from this side I look. What drugs will you want to have from pediatric point of view to save the baby, to do something for the baby? Out of these 5 drugs, I said epinephrine, second is normal saline, liquor lactate, third is sodium bicarbonate, fourth is calcium chloride, whatever it is, atropine. These 5 drugs are sodium bicarbonate, he doesn't want it. You want the adrenaline, right? That's it. He wants normal saline. Good.
No role of sodium bicarbonate.
So no role for atropine, no role of sodium bicarbonate, no role of calcium also during resuscitation. You may be using it because he was telling he may be using it in post-asphyxial management, but not during resuscitation. Remember, resuscitation tray should not contain any of these products, excepting adrenaline and sodium bicarbonate. These two things should be known. Okay? Never keep sodium bicarbonate, atropine or calcium in your drug. Is it right? Now with these things in mind, now you are about to go, you have gone to the operation table. Right? How do you go to the operation table? Already have pre-warmed the warmer. Right? The blankets or the towels are also pre-warmed. So taking it into your hand, you go to the operation table, stay there. They are begging. That's very important. They are begging. Keep the towel or you extending from your chest region onto the hands like this, stay there. Right? For the baby to be received under the warm towels. Now as soon as the baby comes out, what is the immediately you have to look at? What do you observe immediately? What happens when the baby comes out? Baby cries. Is it not? So what immediately we need to have? Is the baby breathing or crying? Right? If the baby is breathing or crying, it can be one entity. Extreme of it is, baby is not crying at all. Doesn't seem to be breathing also. Right? Which is smooth transition, which is difficult transition. Yes, tell me. A baby who is crying is good transition. Baby not crying, not breathing, is a fact affects the contraction. You got my point? Right. Then what else would you like to see? So the baby is moving, the limbs are not. When the baby is crying, what will you be seeing? You will see picks up limbs on all four limbs. What will be a good mother to know? True or not? The baby is limping without any movement at all. That's a difficult time, isn't it? Right? Anything else? Third thing.
The baby's turn of breathing.
Excellent doctor. Is the baby term or preterm? Term babies like to have less problem. Preterm or post-term problem, the babies are like to have problems. Right? So now, 3 questions are important. Get to cover 3 questions now. Is the baby term or not? Put the question like this. Is the baby term or not? Is there good mother term or not? Next question is, what the question I forgot to tell you. Is the baby breathing or crying? 3 questions. Right? The answer to all these questions is yes. Yes means what does it mean? There is a term baby, there is a good mother, and the baby is breathing well and crying well. The answer is yes. Really, what do you want to tell me? Really, what are you doing? Tell me what I want to tell. Now the role of OBC person is over. She has given a good baby to you. Intact.
I first put on the breast first. Put on the mother's breast. I immediately become raising my strength. Because the baby is crying, good tone, no
So
crying.
in a sense, you want to keep the baby with the mother.
Mother.
Is it right?
Yes.
Right. Mother is in or delivery table. So where do you want to keep the baby? For the mother's abdomen, right? Right. So one thing is, sir wants to keep the baby with mother's abdomen. Excellent point. Excellent. Number 1. Number 2. It can be done that way. Yes, good. What else?
Right.
So some steps like just position the baby towards the mother's abdomen, right? You can dry the baby. You can position the head and neck in such a way that head is turned towards one side, right? So that secretion will be collected in the water, they will be draining the. If you think it is obstructed or some secretion, you can simply wipe off. You need not do suction. You know, for a baby who is doing well, who is crying, doing well, there is no need for suctioning. And this is the latest recommendation. 2016 recommendation is do not do suction for a baby who is already breathing well, who is already crying well. There is no need of. Even if secretions are coming out, simply wipe the large come out. Baby knows how to deal with them. Whether she can swallow or she can spit out. It is her choice, it is not your choice. You got it? So don't do suction. What if I do suction? You put in suction the other bulb series, or the deal in mucus trap, or the reticular suction. Is it not? You are applying so, you are touching the sensitive posterior wall, where vagus is stimulated, protrusion bradycardia. That can lead to deterioration. Remember this one. That can lead to deterioration. Right? So, no suction for baby who is very good. Understand the point? Now, baby is in mother's abdomen, position such a way that baby is with one side, with one cheek attached to baby's abdominal chest. Third, you are not doing any suction, simply wiping out. Right? What else you want to do here? No. Imagine that you are there. Now, madam says, can I separate the baby from mother? See, madam's duty. So, what is she going to do now?
As per my personal view, I don't say until the removal of the placenta, I don't separate.
Good.
Let the baby stay in mother's place until the baby removed from the placenta. As is first.
Right, sir, one more thing. Do you want to clamp the umbilical cord or not? That's what I want to do.
Don't
Let the baby be there. Do you want to clamp the umbilical cord or not? It's a practical problem. Madam says, no, I need to do something. I need to clamp.
No.
When do you want to clamp?
After 1 minute. Delayed cut time. Delayed cut time.
Yes. Delayed clamping of the cord is an important component. 30
Sometimes,
seconds.
sometimes that is not the case. At least milking of the umbilical cord is also
We'll also come to that point. Delayed clamping of the cord. By how much delay? Studies almost show not more than 1 minute, minimum of 30 seconds. 30 seconds to 60 seconds time should be allowed. Should be allowed. Right? Because it is pulsating, but it is actually flowing. You do not even milk out. You got my point here? You do not even milk out. Right? Especially babies born less than 29 weeks. milking the cot also may not be the cut. May not be the cut. Maybe it may lead to complication like C-section. Theoretical complication. Okay? You got your point? Remember, this delayed clamping of cot by 30 seconds to 1 minute is for whom? For babies who are well, who are the mother, but not for those babies requiring resuscitation. You got my point? Right. Right, sir? So this is very important. What is the best temperature you wanted to maintain? Do you want to attach some temperature probe to the baby, or you want to look the temperature of the baby when the baby is the mother's abdomen? 100% no. When the baby is over the mother's abdomen, that's a biological thermometer. That's a biological thermoregulating center. That's what you are saying. Mother is such that it alters its own temperature. She alters her own temperature for the needs of the baby. You need not. You need not.
Lactation content center also.
Yes, sir. We will not go into the details. You are beyond our knowledge. So, see what is happening? You need not. So, keep it with the mother. Do it. Sometimes, maybe it calls onto the restriction. Okay? Let us not go to the details. So, this is what we need to do. Right? Then, let us come this side. So, that's what we mean by routine care. Keep the baby over mother's abdomen, allow the baby to go to feeds also, position the baby, do not do suction. You got my point? You need not raise the temperature, all these things. Okay? This is sufficient. You may simply be drying. Just see drying doesn't mean wiping out of the Vernix tissue. Remember? It is simply mopping the amniotic fluid, not cleaning the Vernix tissue. Remember this point. Okay? Now we will come. Now, if the baby is fat or not, if no. Breathing well or crying, if the point is no. Good muscle tone, no. Remember. If answer is yes to all the three questions, you will be going for routine care. What we discussed earlier. You will be giving to the mother. Right? If answer to any of these three questions is no to any of these three questions, it needs resuscitation. You got my point here? Now, first thing is, we are clear now. Which babies require resuscitation? Which babies do not require resuscitation? Answer, if it is no to any one of these three questions, turn, put, mother, no, breathing or crying. If no to any of these three questions, that baby requires resuscitation. Is it clear now? Right now. Then once you think that baby requires resuscitation, what do you want to do immediately? What will you do immediately? You are there. You have received the baby now. What will you do with that baby? What will you do with that baby? See, that's right. Already pre-formed ready-to-keep formula is there. So take the baby in warm towel, right? So first step, what is that you are doing actually? You are warming the baby along with the milk. Take it to the warmer, keep it over the warmer, right? Keep it over the warmer. How do you keep the baby in the warmer? One thing is you are keeping under the warmer to get the required temperature for the baby, right? What is the desired temperature? 36.5 to 37.5 degrees Fahrenheit. Remember, let it never be less than 36. Let it never be more than 38 degrees centigrade. Sorry, not Fahrenheit, centigrade. You got my point here? Let it not be more than 38. Let it not be less than 36. Both are harmful. Both are harmful. So ready to keep to functioning, this is the range you have to keep. Okay? So you kept food and taken care of warm. Now you are going to keep the baby in the warm. How do you keep? How do you keep positioning the baby? See, shall I tell you one thing? Baby's occiput is very prominent all of you know. Is it true or not? Very prominent. If you keep the baby in supine posture, because of prominent occiput, what happens? Baby's neck gets flexed. When the baby's neck is flexing, airway gets blocked. You got my point? So to keep the airway straight, why should we keep the airway straight? To get air from outside. If it is blocked, you can't get an oxygen also. No air to go. So to keep it straight, what best we can do? Just imagine and tell me. Excellent shoulder roll. Just half an inch to 1 inch thickness. And a shoulder roll or a towel can be placed beneath the shoulder blades so that you elevate the torso and automatically post back. This is what we mean by sniffing posture. What do you call it as? Sniffing posture. Right? What if we discuss afterwards? Posture is this. Just to keep confidence to balance the cover beneath the shoulders to elevate the torso. So that neck goes back automatically. It becomes straight. Now airway is straight, right? Now airway is straight. Am I right now? So positioning now, you know how to keep? Warm, positioning, then turn the head towards one side. If any circulations are there, they can pull down to one side of the chin, you can take them out, right? So positioning is over now. Keep your roll up down beneath the shoulders and turn the head towards one side. That is number one. Now what is that you want to do? You want to have a patent airway. See, it is straight doesn't mean that it is open. There might be some circulation. Is it not? There might be something blocking the airway. So what is the need to do now here? Suction. See, our intention is to keep the airway patent. How do you want to keep it patent? That's what one is positioning. First keep it straight. Then take out whatever is in the airway. Like what? By doing suction. With what we want to do suction? Best thing is balloon suction. Or dealing with the strap. Or elliptical suction. Does not matter. Okay? How do you want to suction? Where do you want to do suction? Is it the oral cavity you want to suction? Or is it the nasal cavity you want to do suction?
First oral, then
Why not first nose region?
aspiration.
How aspiration occurs?
Because of the reflex phenomenon that occurs because breathing to the baby when you
So,
automatically there is a spontaneous spasm. It is a reflexes.
something is missing. Some link is missing. What happens?
Already suggestions are there.
Okay. So what gets to play? That was the link I want to do. See, if you tickle the nose of anybody, what will happen to you? Sneezing. You just try to sneeze out. Achh. See, for me to sneeze, what do I need to take first? A deep breath. You got my point here. If you stimulate the nasal mucosa, that will stimulate the sneeze. Sneeze initiated by first achh. Isn't it? So first is a deep breath. So whatever is the oral cavity, you just aspirate immediately. All of them right. But where is the link? This is the link. It initiates sneezing. Sneezing is initiated by a deep breath first. Right? So you need to do first suction of the oral cavity. Let there be nothing to be aspirated. Then do suction of the nasal cavity. Best thing is to remember the alphabets M and O in that order. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. M comes first, then N comes later. Remember it, right? So mouth first, then nose. For how long I need to do that? Each attempt, how long I take? Very important thing. For how long I need to do? See, this is all the practical part. Simply, many times what to do is, to take that suction catheter, go to the depths of the baby, just this movement, this way, that way, stirring the baby's throat with the suction catheter doesn't do any good at all. Right? First block it, apply the suction, block it, go to the desired depth, release it there, then withdraw. You got my point here. First block it, there should be no suction at all. Go to the desired depth, release it, come back. While coming back, you will drawing all the fluid, whatever sitting somewhere into the suction. You got my point? This process of suctioning should not take more than 5 seconds. 5 seconds, 5 seconds. Remember? You got my point? 5 to 10 seconds maximum.
The intention is setting that behind to be cleared up first. Then automatically while drawing the using the behind to find it come out.
Okay? This is the principle we need to keep in mind. Why we need to limit our time to less than 10 seconds for suction is again to limit vagal stimulation. Rightly told by Dr. Verma. Okay? Vagal stimulation will lead to bradycardia and further deterioration. Now what do you do? You are warming, you are positioning, you are suctioning. Now what else you want to do here? Now everything is clear. Baby is taking breathing now. Allowed to take breath now. Now what else you want to do now? Drying. This is very important. Drying, see, baby is already there in the towel. Simply roll it onto the front of the baby. Simply just apply pressure and take it out. Include the trunk, include upper limbs, include the lower limbs. Now we have mopped out. Simply remember, drying doesn't mean taking out the mixed tissue from the baby's surface. It is simply mopping of the fluid. What when you are doing surgery, mopping. That is the thing you need to do, not drying out baby, not taking out the space. Right? When you are doing this, right? It is nothing but a stimulation for the baby to take breathing also. You got my point. So by this time, the majority of the baby is getting breathing. Another important step, what you forget all on, shall I tell you what? After drying, what do you want to do now? Most important step. Very, very important. Remove the wet linen. That linen has become wet now. Already it is wet because of back. You did something in the front also, it is already wet. Take out the wet linen, put the fresh warm, free warm linen. Okay? That is important medical compound. Remember. Okay, so remove the wet linen. Now what shall I do now? Now see, the baby is still breathing or not? No, still breathing, not breathing at all. What shall I do now immediately? How should I get the baby to cry? Stimulate the baby to cry. How to stimulate? How to stimulate? See, shall I tell you what? This is the baby. One method.
No.
Chest. I will be squeezing the chest.
No. No.
Or from back to front, I will be squeezing the chest this way also. Or I will keep finger in the rectum. Or I will keep finger in the nose. Put in the mouth. Go to the tongue and press it and do some twisting movements with the finger. Or keep the baby like this. Stand like this. Rocking. What call it? Rocking. Move the baby from this side to this side. So describe the books. Rocking movements. Pinching the baby. Pricking the baby. These are all the methods of stimulation in that. All these methods are being mentioned only to avoid them. Only to avoid them. Best way to stimulate baby is just a flick over the sole of the feet. Once or twice. This is the sole of the feet. Sufficient. Or back of the baby, rub it once or twice. Sufficient. Excessively stimulating a baby who is not breathing is hazardous. That perpetuates further hypoxia. You got my point? If the baby is not breathing with your stimulation, immediately go for participatory ventilation. Why do you want to go with unnecessary stimulation or prolonged ventilation? You got my point? So can anybody repeat what the initial steps now? Warming, positioning, suctioning, drying, stimulation. What are the 5 points? These 5 points are called as initial steps. Right? They are called as initial steps. Remember, 90% of the babies, they respond to these initial 5 steps requiring only 10% of the babies, they do not do so even after stimulation. What shall we do now with this? See, there are 2 options for us now. Shall I tell you? The baby may not be breathing at all. Right? Only if you auscultate the heart, it is less than 100 per minute. So what are the 2 components you need to observe of initial steps? Look for breathing, look for heart rate. Of initial steps, look for breathing, look for heart rate. Baby is not breathing, heart rate is less than 100, immediately you should do partial failure of ventilation. You got my point? You will come to this point. Or it can be like this. Baby is breathing well. Baby is breathing well. Heart rate is more than 100 per minute. But baby has got respiratory distress. Baby has got cyanosis. Baby is breathing well. Retractions are there. Heart rate is more than 100. Is the baby gasping? No. Is the heart rate less than 100? No. Do you want to do PPV? No. Then what to do now? So this baby is born with respiratory distress. You got my point? Baby is spontaneously breathing, but requires more oxygen. So what do you want to give for that baby? Do you want to give breathing or oxygen? Oxygen. That's it. But that becomes an indication for giving. We'll come to that. So keeping this point in mind, we give more oxygen to the baby. Right? Indication for giving oxygen is the baby is breathing well, but in distress, but in cyanosis, they require oxygen supplementation, but not assisted ventilation. You got that point? You have to one more point. Is acceptable? Is it only oxygen really required? See, imagine, try to hold your chest like this without expanding. Try to take a breath. You don't allow your chest to expand. So someone can try. Don't allow your chest to expand and try to take a breath. What is happening? Chest retraction will result. You got my point? Chest retraction will result. And what does it mean? A baby is seen with chest retractions mean there is something obstructing the baby to take breath. Rather, she is trying to create more amount of pressure inside to draw the air forcibly. Is it not? So baby requires not only oxygen but also pressure support. You got my point here? But also some pressure support. So what I mean to say here is the new concept here is for the pediatric condition now. A baby who is there seen may not gasping but breathing well, retractions are there, cyanosis is there, requires oxygen no doubt, but baby also requires pressure support. This is what we call as CPAP delivery room. Understand the point? Continuous positive airway pressure in the delivery room. There will be oxygen along with 5 centimeters of pressure. Heat. Positive and expiratory pressure will be 5 centimeters. That's what the indication. Right? Now let us assume baby there is no respiratory distress. Baby is breathing well, but cyanosis is there. You got my point here? Baby is breathing well, no distress, heart rate more than 100, but cyanosis is there, central cyanosis is there. What do you want to know from this? Do you want to do pressure support? No. Retractions are the indication for CPAP. Right? Got right? Retractions are indication for CPAP. No retraction, only cyanosis. You simply use supplemental oxygen. How much oxygen? How do you do it in the delivery? Say source is there from cylinder, tubing is there from cylinder, the tube is there in your hand. How do you want to do oxygen? You can give the mask. You can give the mask, oxygen mask. Fine, acceptable. Right? You can as well give, just keep the end of the tube like this, make a cup and keep for the previous now. It's not called as cupping. Your hand is acting like an oxygen mask, a reservoir is creating. Right? So do it like this. That way also you can, or you can also give free flow oxygen with anesthesia cap. Or take is necessitated. You can use it. What I am trying to tell here is, in a delivery room, you must have TP necessitators. No, time has changed. The time has changed. Remember, you need to have TP necessitator. You must have anesthesia ducts there. Remember, don't try to give supplemental oxygen with self-inflated bag. That's only for ventilation, not for giving oxygen. Remember, for the spontaneous breathing. Right? Try to give it mask, or with hand, or with TP necessitator, or with anesthesia bag, but never with self-inflated. Then you can use for that time. That also means anything, but only thing is, if you anesthesia, foods are being used, that occupies many of your space. You want to do intubation, you can't. You want to insert early vascular, you can't do. That's why not advisable. Right? For the purpose of giving oxygen, fine, acceptable. Right? You can give. But for the purpose of further interventions if needed, that will obstruct it. Okay? So may not be a good choice. You can use it, but may not be a good choice. You got my point now? Right. So now these are all the things we do. Now, how much oxygen can I give?
Through ambu bag,
Sir?
through ambu bag.
That's what I'm saying. Self-inflating bag, remember, for it to empty, it requires some pressure. You need to press it at the back. Self-inflating bag, for it to be delivered to the baby, bag will be like this, mask will be like this. It is full. For the air inside the bag to be delivered to the baby, you need to press it. Otherwise, it won't. Free flow oxygen will not happen with self-inflating bag. But possible with anesthesia bags.
Because we are not having CPAP, there is some retraction.
Yes, sir.
So we can assist them.
You can do that with anesthesia bag. You can do that with anesthesia bag, but not with self-inflating bags. It's not possible. Right? You can adjust the team for everything with anesthesia bag, but not with self-inflating bag. Very difficult, very tough. You are wasting time. Why I am telling you? Time to come to the point. Where are we now right now? Yeah, how much oxygen? How do I decide? Shall I go 2 liters per minute, 6 liters per minute, 10 liters per minute? How much I need to set now tell me. If you are there to look at how much oxygen you want to give. So you must have listened to many babies by now. That is a lot of mistake, doesn't it? Remember, it is not the question of how much you give. It is the question of how much you are achieving. You have got my point? What are you achieving? SpO2. Having pulse oximetry is a must in deliverable for newborn system. It is a new inclusion. It is a must. Consumer forum will not accept us if you say that we do not have the sophisticated equipment of pulse oximetry in the deliverable. For baby, you must have that. Reason being, how much really SpO2 you want to achieve by giving oxygen? Anybody? So depends upon that. 1 to 2 minutes, 65%. Right? By 10 minutes, maximum 10 to 5 to 10 minutes, maximum it will be 90%. Right? 90 to 95%. So, if you have 3 minutes, somewhere about 75%. If there are 4 minutes, somewhere about 80%. That's what we mean by time targeted SpO2 should be achieved. Less than 1 minute, our resuscitation process is going on. So, how much is acceptable to us? Remember that acceptability is not more than 65 to 70%. Remember this one. Right? We got that one. So do not try to do more oxygen. Adjust the flow in such a way that, see, if you are giving 4 liters of oxygen, if you are giving 90% at 30 seconds itself, like I said. What do you do? You decrease it to 2 liters. 2 liters per minute. See that it falls to 70%. Right, you are right in giving. You got that one? Flow should be adjusted according to SpO2 that is. You got my point? Now we gave oxygen that is down. Now let us come back to this chain. Who is not breathing? Whose heart rate is less than 100 per minute? What do you want to do now here? You want to do positive pressure. What are the instruments available to us? One is central ventricular bag. Second thing is anesthesia. Third thing is TP's resuscitation also available. See, for any of these 3 instruments to do positive pressure breathing, what is there in between the baby and the resuscitator? The mask. Mask is there. Tight fitting over the baby's mouth and nose and connected to the device on the other side. Remember, the mask should be such that it should not be over the eyes of the, it should not be beyond the chin of the baby. You got that one? Correct position of the ventilating mask is to fit it exactly from bridge of nose to the chin flap. You try to choose the size like that one. Then connect it to the bag. Then bag it. The most important, easy, must for every pediatrician and gynecology and anesthesiology. Try to use self-inflating bag. Master that technique. Master that technique. How much pressure I need to use? Now tell me, just simply tell me. How much pressure do I need to use? Easy to see to create, there are one thing. For 1 kg, 2 fingers. For 2 kg, 3 fingers. For 4 kg, 4 fingers. The dictum was there at some point of time. So how much pressure to be used? See what for breath is taking place, just observe me. Just observe me. What is happening to my chest? Right? In chest rise. So breath must be sufficient to have visible chest rise. Breath must be sufficient to have visible chest rise. Right? But not held on for long like that. Simply visible chest, go down. Visible chest, go down. For 1 second is sufficient. You got it? So like that, create pressure. Do not worry about this amount of pressure should be there. Chest rise sufficient. When chest rise is there, what does it mean? You are pushing a lot of air into the chest. Oxygen automatically increases. What is that we need to observe? Really oxygen is good. Is it SpO2? Is it color or some other finding? Very good. The heart rate most level color. Look at the heart. 30 seconds also heart rate. Now 15 seconds after starting 40 to 60 per minute you need to give. Remember, 40 to 60 per minute you need to give. While giving, how to do 40 to 60 per minute? How to count it? There is a method for it. Shall I tell you? Squeeze 2 and 3. Squeeze 2 and 3. Squeeze 2, 3. Squeeze 2, 3. Squeeze 2, 3. If you want just doing like that, approximately you will give 40 to 60 per minute. Okay? Neither should practice it for the mannequins. Okay? So squeeze 2, 3. Like that you go on. When you are doing, also be checking the pulse. How to check the pulse rate? How to check the pulse rate? Remember? Very good. One is cardiac pulsation. Second, by auscultation. Number 2. Third, pulse oximetry. Third. Fourth. Fourth. ECG. Very good. ECG. Connect to monitor. ECG and look for heart rate. Shall I tell you one thing? Calculating femoral, etc. sectal pulses. How? If feasible, you can calculate umbilical curve, but not that reliable. Then go to pulse oximetry. When shock is there, not reliable. Then what is the remaining? That's why nowadays, recent concept is you must connect to ECG monitor. You must connect to ECG monitor. Okay? It's very important. You must connect to ECG monitor. That gives a reliable heart rate. Reliable. So a deliverable should contain, for the sake of baby, a pulse oximeter is a must, and ECG monitoring is a must. The battery party plus the working warmer is a must, self-reflective bag is a must, plus equipment containing this system. These are all. Shall I tell you? To this point of giving positive ventilation, entire process starting from baby born to completing PPV should not exceed 60 seconds of time. You got my point? This entire process should not take more than 60 seconds. This is what called as golden minute management. Okay? Now at this point of time, if heart rate is rising to more than 100 per minute, shall I give ventilation or shall I stop? We started giving PPV because heart rate was less than 100. Now heart rate is increasing to more than 100. You are giving positive pressure ventilation. Heart rate more than 100. Shall I stop PPV or not? Now what you do is you must practice. That's what I want. Excellent. You should not stop PPV. You continue until the baby resumes spontaneous breathing. Okay? Baby resumes spontaneous breathing. Now the heart rate falls. For example, if you are raising, the heart rate is falling to less than 60 per minute. What will do now? Last 2 points. We need to give chest compression. Remember, this is the one thing we need to keep in mind. What I mean to you? Always keep in mind, ventilation characteristics are very important. Right? That is, it might be loose. You are not giving positive pressure correctly. Application might be poor. The area is blocked, position properly again. So all these ventilation characteristics should be taken. Number 1. Number 2, if you must intubate, remember this point, you must intubate. Unless you intubate and ventilate for at least 30 seconds, you should not say heart rate is not rising because of positive ventilation. You got my point here? So indication for chest compression is heart rate less than 60 per minute even after tube and bag ventilation, not mask and bag ventilation. You got my point here? Indication for chest compression is heart rate less than 60 per minute even after intubation and ventilation for at least 30 seconds. This is the latest guideline. What correct? This we need to keep this point. Okay? Remember one more thing. Until this point, how much oxygen you are giving for a baby? From 30 to 40%, not more than 30%. When you are giving chest compression, 100% oxygen must be given. These 2 important prerequisites are there. When you are giving chest compression, you must have been intubated. Right? They must have been ventilated plus 100% oxygen must have been there. Now you do chest compression. But what rate you want to compress? What rate you want to suppress? At least 100 per minute. 100 per minute. Right? But you have to do ventilation also. So you must coordinate with ventilation and compression. Ventilation and compression. Remember, it is like this. See, how do you want to cascade them? Squeeze 2, 3, compress. Squeeze 2, 3, breathing. Squeeze 2, 3, breathing. Squeeze 2, 3, breathing. Right? 1, 2, 3, breathing. 1, 2, 3, breathing. 1, 2, 3, breathing. Like that, you must announce it loudly. That maintains the number. It should be 3:1 ratio. Like that if you do, you will be 120 events per minute, 90 compressions, 30 ventilations will be given. Okay? Like that we have to. Where do you want to compress? Where do you want to compress? Digital the precardium, number 1. Digital the precardium, number 2, membranous sternum, GP sternum, upper third of sternum, lower third of sternum, below the nipple line, above the hip part. Which is correct?
Below the nipple line.
So last one is correct. It should be below the nipple line of JB, above the GP sternum, that is lower third of sternum, below the part. How do you want to compress? Remember, thumbs must be like this. They should not be like this. Parallel. You must bend them perpendicularly. Go to the point, right? Go to the point, then compress. Right? This is the best method of compressing. 1 and 2 and 3, squeeze. 1 and 2 and 3, squeeze. Squeeze, some other person is doing. 1 and 2, 3, squeeze. 1 and 2 and 3, squeeze. Like that, very difficult. Right? So we know the side, we know the rate, we know how to coordinate. Right? Like that, after 30 seconds, again you look at the heart rate. Connected to monitor already. Remember, during chest compression, ECG is the only best thing to monitor the heart. Right? Now look at the heart. If it is still less than 60, then you need to do drugs. Like what? Epinephrine alone. How much you want to do? What strength? Senator. 1 ml మనం వచ్చేది 1000. 1 ml అట్లనే తీసుకోవాలి. 9 ml normal strength కనుక. Because 1 in 10,000. That you should give it as 0.1 to 0.3 ml per kg. You should give it intravenously. How do you get intravenous line? This thing is umbilical vein. What occurs umbilical vein? You will see 3 vessels. One is large, patulous, bleeding. This vein, single. Whereas pale, circular, thick, which do not bleed, are the 2 arteries. Right? So you put 5 French bleeding catheter or umbilical venous catheter into it. How long you need to push it? Just for the blood to flow sufficiently. Don't push it to Intravenously or to radiate. Intend not to catheterize. You want to get free flow. Right? Tie it there. Then give adrenaline in boluses, 0.1%. How many times? As long as it is good. The heart is sometimes 10 to 12 times or once in 0 to 5 minutes. The bond. Remember, when drug is being given, what is on? They are giving positive ventilation with 100% oxygenation. They are also giving chest compression. They are giving drug. Got it? When once it goes to more than 100, no more drug therapy. No more than 60, no more drug therapy. No more chest compression. Okay. So what are the steps of resuscitation are? One is antenatal discussions with obstetrician, team members, equipment check. Then question 3% we need to evaluate. Then routine care is normal. If answer is not anything, you will go for initial step. What are the 5 steps? Warming, positioning, suctioning, drying, stimulation. If not responding, gasping, not less than 100 to go for positive ventilation. If respiratory distress, you will do CPAP. No distress but sinus, you will be simply use oxygen. Right? If the heart rate is falling to less than 60, you start giving chest compression. But by that time, people should be intubated. Must be 100% oxygenation. If still less than 60, you do medication. Got this is how we need to lower. With this, I think that I stop here. If any doubts are there, please feel free. So, intended to for the slides are there. Any practical problems?